Hi, guys. Welcome back to Yank Speaks. This is Zach Grauman, one of the co-hosts of this podcast with Andrew. Look, we recorded this episode right after the Georgia election, and we were elated. We're really happy, and you'll hear from Andrew, myself, and Jermaine Johnson, who's a South Carolina state representative who we love, and we're super excited. But in between, right as we were about to press send, if you will, and put this up for air, our capital was being stormed by some really violent protesters and insurgents is another word for it. And we just wanted to say, to us, it's disturbing, and we want everybody to stay safe. So if you're in DC or anywhere, please stay safe. And we hope that our message at Yank Speaks very much is for the unity of our country over any political party. We're all humans, and in this country, we all are American. So stay safe. We love you guys. This is a very happy podcast, but we didn't want it to be tone deaf, so we are aware of that, and we'll be making more comments as the days continue. Thank you all. Love you guys. All right, welcome back to Yank Speaks. This is Zach Grauman, one of the co-hosts of this podcast with Andrew, and we are in a very, very happy mood for the future of the country because the Georgia runoff for Senate happened last night, and the Democrats won not one, but both seats, and we're fired up. And look, I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican, both Perdue and Kelly Loeffler, the two Republicans that lost, are two individuals that, when the COVID pandemic hit, went to their stock portfolio and sold their stocks before telling anyone else. That's the type of scumbags they are. And we've kept them out of Congress, we being the Democratic Party or just Americans, or particularly Georgians. So I'm proud of you, Georgia. Andrew and I are fired up. So here's what we got today. Andrew's on the road, but he recorded a love note to you and everybody and kind of his thoughts. So we're gonna hear from Andrew quickly, and then we've got one of my favorite humans on the planet, South Carolina, recently elected South Carolina State Rep Jermaine Johnson, and he was our former South Carolina campaign chair down in the state when we were running for president. You want to hear from him because he's been on the ground both in Georgia and South Carolina, mobilizing voters and mobilizing the black community on this race and a lot of key issues. So it's a fascinating perspective. It's a fun episode. We're rejoicing today. Tune in. Yank Speaks.
Oh my gosh, Georgia, we did it. You did it. This is incredible. Tens of millions of Americans, hundreds of millions of Americans can look forward to our government actually being able to rise to this challenge and do some work on our behalf, because John Ossoff, Reverend Warnock are on their way to the U.S. Senate. Mitch McConnell's getting demoted, and you helped make this possible. Thank you particularly to all of the folks who knocked on doors, phone banked, text banked, donated, did the work trying to give us this chance to flip the Senate, to make Georgia blue, but also to give our entire country a functional government. I am so happy. I am so grateful. This should be something that we celebrate in like an incredible way, because I can't even remember a victory this important since Trump lost to Joe. I know it's funny. That seems like a little while ago, even though he hasn't been inaugurated. But so grateful to everyone who put in the work. It was tremendous spending time with the people of Georgia, and this victory is for all of us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's go. Let's go, Georgia. It's a new day in America, 2021. Let's do some work. And Yang Gang, those of you who supported our efforts in Georgia, those of you who even came, the Math Mansion, Humanity Forward, Georgia, though you were already there, obviously you live there. But everyone who did this, I hope you embrace this feeling and reflect on what this means. We can be the difference makers in our nation's shared destiny. It's awesome. I'm so proud of us. I'm proud of you. I'm so grateful. Let's take advantage of this time. And now let's put the pressure on Joe Biden and his newly Democratic Senate to try and get $2,000 cash relief out. And that's just the start. We helped make it happen. I am so freaking proud of us. And let's go. 2021, Georgia. This is the best.
It's time for everyone's favorite ad. Hello, Tushy. New rear, new you, baby. In 2021, don't just make a commitment to wash your hands every time you go to the bathroom. Go the extra mile and use a bidet, which is pretty cool. And wash your underside. So the future of toileting has arrived, guys. I love this thing. It sounds weird, but bidets are way better than frankly, the traditional toilet paper that we've all been using. So I've been thrilled with using Hello Tushy, and the brand new Hello Tushy 3.0 bidet attachment is fantastic. And you save money on toilet paper. It is more environmentally friendly. It is cleaner. I freaking love this thing. So there's no need to wipe. You just use it, wash off, and go. And every bidet attachment has a 60-day risk-free guarantee and a 12-month warranty. So you can try it risk-free, which is pretty awesome because I know people are very sensitive about how they use the bathroom, what they do in there. This, if you try it and you love it, you have a brand new routine. If you don't like it, no worries. So here's the deal. If you go to hellotushy.com/yang, you'll get 10% off plus free shipping. So you could try out the bidet and get 10% off and get free shipping. It's a special offer for our Yang Speaks listeners. Go to hellotushy, TUSHY.com/yang for 10% off. That's hellotushy.com/yang. What a night. What a night. This is exciting stuff. And to discuss it, you can hear the hearty laugh. Is my favorite laugh. There's like one person, you can hear it. It's beautiful. There's very few people that have such a hearty laugh and give better bear hugs than the one and only Jermaine Johnson. But I want to make sure I introduce him right because this man is officially a South Carolina representative right now and who's elected, just sworn in, what, Jermaine, a couple weeks ago?
December 1st, man. December
1st. So about a month ago. And he was our South Carolina campaign chair and wanted to make sure Jermaine was on here to kind of talk about the significance of the election last night in Georgia. We're recording this. This just happened. And you're listening to this about a day and a half since the news came out. But the Democrats have won both seats in Georgia. And it feels pretty good. So Jermaine, how are you feeling, man? Tell me your network, the communities, the political world you're operating in. What are you sensing, bud?
Oh my God, man. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on here, man. It's always a great, a great time to spend with my buddy Zach, man, and looking at that beautiful hair he's got. It's
not falling out yet, only a little.
Not yet. But I mean, what's going on, man? Is just the magnitude of what we have witnessed down there in Georgia. With this historic win, Reverend Warnock is going to be the first African American to hold this seat, and I hold that true to my own heart because I am the first African American to hold my seat and only the second Democrat ever elected to my seat. So, with individuals making history, Reverend Warnock making history. I remember when I was with the campaign with you all, we were down in Georgia, we met Reverend Warnock down there. And just the history behind this, what we have done in Georgia to have not one, but two Democrats coming out of Georgia, going up there to help us out with the Senate. It is it's something that we did not ever fathom could be possible. But we're sitting here and we're standing on the shoulders of giants like Congressman John Lewis, God rest his soul. And now we are going right to the future. And I'm just excited, man.
I always try to think about what the average person is looking at this, right? Where it's like the average American, like looking at what just happened in Georgia. And for I think the average person, like, man, Georgia's been a red. That's like a southern state. That's like a red. That's as like red as it gets forever, you know. And here we are, where it was a toss up on the election night, right? Like, it was super close. They had to go to a runoff, and historically in runoffs in Georgia, but also elsewhere around the country, Democrats don't do very well. We don't usually turn out as well. It's not our forte. And so not only did we perform well in both the presidential and this runoff, we won. Like, Democrats literally won. So in your opinion, like, what's changed down in these communities? Like, from the people you're talking to, like, what is driving that? Is it the Black community? Is it some of the work Stacey Abrams doing? I know there's the AAPI turnout's higher in Georgia. Like, thoughts on what you think what's happening?
Yeah, well, it's a complete conjunction of everything you just stated there, right? Because, we have people like Stacey Abrams, who is tired of voter disenfranchisement for the people down there in Georgia. So she got out there, and instead of, fading into the background like a lot of these candidates do after they've lost the race, she jumped out at the forefront and said, all right, well, whatever happened to me won't happen to anybody else. And she got out there and she really, took this whole election by the bullhorns and drove it home. I mean, she was vocal. She's been in the community. She's been doing the work. She's been organizing and strategizing, and it's paid off. So what we're seeing is that people are just tired of things. Even some of the Republicans are tired of what they saw. They believe in democracy. They believe in, what we're seeing in terms of the fairness of our elections. And, we have a president right now who's up there, who's talking trash about, how these elections are being conducted. And, with a state like Georgia, where it's ruby red like it's been, and for it to have a president that's talking bad about his own party, his own people, people are just tired of it, man. They're tired of it. They want stability back in the White House. They wanted stability in the Senate. They want stability in the House. And they all came out. We even saw that a large percentage of people went out and just voted for Warnock, because they were like, listen, we're just trying to get this thing done. And the only way you can explain that is either the people came in and voted Warnock himself, or they did Warnock and Purdue. Like, they're tired of it. So these people are split on what they're trying to do, but they're tired of the mess. They're tired of the immaturity. They're tired of the baseless lies, the things that are just coming out of Washington right now. They want something different. They want the future to be here, and we're embracing the future. So, the people that I'm talking to in South Carolina, they're even saying we're even more energized here in South Carolina now. It's like, man, we can do that, because we saw what happened with Jamie Harrison and Lindsey Graham. And we're like, man, this mess, we can do exactly what Georgia did. So I imagine that South Carolina is headed in the same direction that Georgia is, because we see it is possible. And now we have a renewed faith in this entire process.
Yep. And I think, so for context, everybody, Lindsey Graham and Jamie Harrison ran a Senate race that just happened in November this year. Jamie had a ton of momentum. The election looked close, and it wasn't close. And
exactly.
the takeaway is likely the inability to vote. There's a lot of people that say they like him. When they answer polls, they do, but they don't vote. And Stacey Abrams, agree with her or disagree with her, wherever you land, what she did after losing her governor's race, she's like, I would have won if people were able to vote. And so she went out there and did the freaking work. And look, they registered, I think it was 93, 95% of eligible voters in the state, and passed real laws. Like, if you get a new driver's license in the state of Georgia, they say, do you want to register to vote? Or you automatically register to vote. There's a bunch of things she did that we should do around the country, right? And regardless how you see this, democracy has to reflect its people. And when it doesn't, bad things happen,
Absolutely. I mean, and it just, we have Black Voters Matter with Natasha Brown. I mean, we've got all these individuals who've been out there doing the work, man. A good buddy of mine with Amplify Action, Brandon Upson. I mean, we have people that and it's not even just the people of Georgia. Like, the people of Georgia came out and they showed out and they voted, but people from all across the country came out to support and came to Georgia. But also, instead of going down there, a lot of people did phone banking. A lot of people sent, financial contributions. I mean, it was like all hands on deck for these two races here, man. And it definitely paid off. And it was just so great to have Stacey Abrams at the helm of it all, directing traffic, making sure things were getting done the way it was, man. I mean, it's just an exciting time.
All right, guys, we have a new sponsor, and I wanted to tell you about it because it's pretty cool. If you're tired of using some of these big name household products that you don't really know where they came from, do you know if they're good for the environment? Do you know that if they're good, they're treating their workers right? You honestly don't. And so I want to talk to you about something called Public Goods, which is essentially a one-stop shop for sustainable, high-quality, everyday essentials made from clean ingredients at an affordable price. So everything from literally coffee to shampoo to toothpaste to pet food. It's your new everything store, but it's thoughtfully designed for the conscious consumer. I've tried a couple things. They have a surface cleaner that I think is pretty great. Comes in a cool spray bottle. I have tried their olive oil recently that I love. I'm not the best cook, but I have been doing a little bit, and they've sent me some cool stuff. And their toothpaste, actually pretty awesome. I've just replaced my Crest nonsense that I've just been grabbing at, the pharmacy when I go. But they have literally it's everything. So that the box that I have of Public Goods has been ranging from like food to pet food to cleaning materials. Rather than buying from a bunch of single product brands, Public Goods member can buy all their premium essentials in one place in a beautiful website, beautiful aesthetic. They look cool. They are good. They're ethically sourced, and they obsessively develop this stuff to be free of things that are unhealthy or harmful additives that are still common on drug and grocery store shelves, and very, very committed to making their products healthy and safe for humans, which is why we love them, because there's this commitment to, frankly, humanity. We've talked to Public Goods, and we've now just worked out as a new sponsor here, an exclusive deal just for Yang Speaks podcast listeners. So you receive $15 off your first Public Goods order with no minimum purchase. That's $15 off your first order, no minimum purchase. So they're so confident that you'll love their products and come back again and again. They're just going to give you $15 spend on your first purchase. Pretty cool. So go to publicgoods.com/Yang and use that, or just use the code Yang at checkout, YNG. So it's publicgoods.com/Yang to receive $15 off your first order. Check out Public Goods, guys. It's pretty freaking cool. Yang Speaks is brought to you by Helix Sleep. Guys, I'm moving into a new apartment in New York City. Very, very exciting. It's going to be my little home office situation. Very, very COVID friendly. I'm pumped. And I had to get rid of my old mattress because I've outgrown it. It's been a while. So I've gotten a new mattress from Helix Sleep, and it comes in this beautiful box. Extremely comfortable, designed for me. I got to get all new sheets on it and stuff too. Getting a new mattress is awesome. And Helix Sleep is one of your best options out there. So basically how it works, in typical Yang Speaks fashion, Helix Sleep does some data gathering before you get your mattress. You take this quiz. It's like 2 minutes, not even really 2 minutes. It's like, let's call it 90 seconds. And it matches your body type and sleep preferences to the right mattress for you. So if it's soft or firm, or you like you're a side sleeper or a back sleeper. So when you're looking for a mattress, you take the quiz, you get the mattress, it shows up at your doorstep. You can add on sheets and pillows or whatever else you need for your bed, and it comes right to your door within 10 business days. Pretty cool. They've been awarded #1 best overall mattress pick in 2020 by GQ and Wired magazine, which is pretty cool. So these people, I want to be the guy that gets to vet out mattresses. You just sleep on them a bunch of times. But anyway, I vetted out this one, and it's freaking great. So here you go. Go to helixsleep.com/Yang, take their 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you to a customized mattress. They'll give you the best sleep of your life. And I mean that, because I've had some of the best sleep of my life in this new mattress that I'm moved in my new apartment with. So right now, Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners. That's helixsleep.com/Yang. It's Helix, HELIX, sleep.com/Yang. Get up to $200 off your order and 2 free pillows. Check it out. This is cool, and it's amazing. And look, it is the fate of the world, at least for the next 2 years. And now that the Democrats, we basically have a 50-50 split in the Senate with Kamala Harris as a tiebreaker. I think, look, it's not filibuster proof. So for those of you, who, if you're listening to this and you don't like the left or you don't like the far left, I think you're still going to have like a moderate government, which is a general win for, like like the whole country, I think, if we're finding some sort of compromise. But the other piece is that we have so many big problems, Jermaine. There's so many big things that we need a government that's not gummed up by Mitch McConnell, and it won't be as much anymore.
What we need to look at now is the fact that we can actually start to prioritize the things that need to get done, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited about that opportunity because what we have now is we can actually get our strategies in place, which is, the number one thing on top of the ticket needs to be getting this coronavirus thing, under control, but in conjunction with getting people some of this cash relief. If we could do both of those things, man, I mean, the America can turn around.
Amen. So that's my good question for you. I think it's like the numbers are not out yet, but we have the presidential numbers, and they're going to be relatively similar. I think it's very, very fair to say that the Biden administration owes the black community a large favor. Essentially owes its presidency to that. Yeah, and that stems back from South Carolina, where Joe was, he did okay in Nevada, I believe, and then had an epic comeback in South Carolina. You could go down the cities, where I'll never forget where there was a black community leader in Detroit when he won Michigan, and he said, "We used to pick cotton, now we pick presidents." It was like hell. Yes. It was like it was an awesome moment, and it was pretty badass. I think I said that, and but to me, it was like, what? So what? Like, but I think it is important to understand this, like, because obviously not all black people are the same, and like that's a tough burden, if you will, or for the Biden administration. So in your opinion, and the opinion of those around you, if you can, and maybe your constituents and in your community, when we say the Biden administration owes the black community a favor, what does that mean? What should that look like? What should be on their agenda for this community?
Well, the first thing that definitely needs to come back to the forefront has got to be the conversation around reparations. And talking about what does reparations look like. This has been a hot topic for, a number of years about, this conversation of what reparations is and how it will work and all that. He has got to mention that. He has to. He's got to talk about that and see what can be done. He's got to lean on our leaders such as Jim Clyburn and talk to Congressman Clyburn about, what can we do with the plan that Congressman Clyburn had talked about, helping individuals in these struggling communities. He's got to talk about those different things that really affect us, not just the typical conversation of criminal reform and that type of stuff. He's got to talk about other things because, like you said, not all black people are the same. We don't all think alike. There's sometimes in these different communities, there's a disconnection between rich black and poor black. So we've got to figure out how to bridge that gap and be able to meet everybody's needs. And I think a conversation around reparations would be a great starting point to see what that looks like and how that can really affect everybody in the black community, what that would do for all black people and all black Americans.
Erica McLeod on our team says this too. He's like, look, every time you're talking about black people, if you're talking about criminal justice reform, you're doing everybody a disservice. Yes. It's important, but it's not the end all be all. And to me, what I love talking with Andrew when he talked about this is like, it's the economy, stupid. Like starting with like resources in people's hands and opportunity, which at least sound like catch-all phrases, but the ability to move up in society is key to democracy. It's key for a thriving economy. And particularly in coronavirus right now, right? If these communities, particularly communities of color, are getting hit the hardest.
We're getting decimated, man.
That has to be front and center,
He has to. There's communities all down here where these little small towns are just completely destroyed. Most of it started because of natural disasters and things like that with the lack of resource that these communities are getting. But then you have on top of that, you put the pandemic in place. And then, these businesses are going out of business. They don't have anybody to spend money there, So, I mean, we're completely just being destroyed down here. So something has got to give, some cash relief, something has got to come to these people so that they can, make it through this pandemic and not only come back, but come back stronger.
If they don't get something done, if they don't start solving the problems you're talking about, like where do you think your communities or communities in Georgia where we're talking about now, or where do you think they start going to? Is it violence and unrest? Is it becoming Republican? Is it a new political party? Like where does people hit their threshold, and then what does that look like when they're at wit's end, in your opinion?
I believe this is the end all be all right here.
Yeah.
I believe this is what we've been waiting for a long time. Having the Senate, having the House, having the presidency, we've been waiting for this. We fought for this, and if they do not hold up their end of the bargain, this will be the end of the base of the Democratic Party. The individuals will be headed to either form their own party, or they will be headed to the Republican Party. And it would be a little bit of civil unrest. It's going to be all of that because we fought for this to happen. And it's like fighting for an individual who's not going to fight for you. So, we're going to make sure that we're going to hold this person accountable. We're going to hold this administration accountable. If they don't do it, they will be voted out. They will also be one-term president. They will be one-term individuals. And we will move forward with coming up with new strategies and new plans to move us forward. Because if this party having all this power at this point does not do what they said that they will do for us, we'll go elsewhere. And I promise you that I will be a part of that group that leads my community somewhere else, because I'm going to make sure that we are getting what's deserved and what we have earned and fought for.
It's country over party, people over party.
Yes, I
agree with you, man. I guess I think the takeaway is this, man. Like right now, when we can honestly say, "Here you go, Joe." Like, here you go. Like,
yeah. But you got the ball. You got the pitch, baby. You're on the mound.
Be the man for the moment, man. Be the man for the moment. Ignore. We are divided. We are pissed off. We are angry. We've put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get to where we are. Joe, you've got majority in the House and the Senate. We need a vision. We need big ideas, and we need execution, and we need them fast. So I hope he is the man for the moment. Frankly, he has to be. To your point, or it's not going to end well. But look, man, Jermaine, like that said, I'm a big believer in celebrating wins. And tonight, or last night, and this week in the Georgia runoff was a big win, both for the Democrats, but I also believe for the country. I do think it's generally good that we can have a potentially functioning government over the next years. That's what we're going next 2 years. Anyway, Jermaine, I love you, brother. Thank you for being on here. This is Jermaine's now a recurring guest on Yang Speaks and is not going anywhere. So I appreciate you hopping on in like a celebratory episode here. You stay in touch and stay awesome, right, brother?
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you having me on here, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Hope you celebrate this one.
Thank you for listening in. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. If you did, please do subscribe to Yang Speaks and click on notifications so we can let you know every time we have a new episode.